Yeah, a really, again, it's hard to even have expectations when they put out a it's a state of play. Um and it's the state of plays have been so varied as far as what actually is shown in them that it's hard to
Mhm.
be like, oh, I'm expecting this and this, because sometimes it has the latest trailer of Final Fantasy 7 Part 5, sometimes it has just pure indie, sometimes so it's hard to be like, oh yeah, I'm expecting this. The times when the hype level is high is when they do the PlayStation showcase, which they haven't done, I think, since 22. So it's been a few years, and maybe they're just fully on state of play. And so again, it's hard to know, but there were some genuine surprises, some big name reveals here. Um, Kind of wonder how many of these were almost sniping Keely's most exciting stuff. Like, what if Keely now is just gonna have extra trailers of some of these things, like including 007? Um, but a pretty solid show. A pretty solid show from PlayStation. A little bit of everything.
No, I'm trying to find the list of everything that was shown. Doesn't PlayStation Blog have it somewhere?
They have um they have like individual posts, so it's hard to be like, you know,
Got it.
what exactly.
Oh, it is called Sea of Remnants. You were right.
Okay, yeah. See, I was like so good. I was like, is it just a sword? Is it a um but yeah, let's quickly walk back through this all. Not all, but walk back through the most exciting things, which again, it was a good enough show that there's a decent amount. Um I mean, first up, starting the show and immediately confusing me and all of us, because you don't even know if it's part of the like pre-roll
The
sizzle
intro?
reel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because you still see the PlayStation symbols, and then slowly being like, wait, is this Tetris Effect? Because this is totally the visual style that they would employ for some of those trippy levels in Tetris Effect. And then for it to turn out to be not Tetris Effect, but Luminous, the PSP game that I think they have in recent years brought back, and I think it's on Steam now. So it kind of like they were kind of letting us know this franchise is far from dead, but still a
No, Romeo
wild.
is dead.
Romeo is dead. That's definitely one we're talking about coming up. But what a wild opener coming this year. It's coming. It will have VR modes just like Tetris Effect did. And I gotta tell you, like, if you did not play Luminous back in the day, that game was a banger. Not just because it's a fun puzzle game, but it genuinely, like, you get to make cool little tracks because as you drop things down, they interact with the music in cool ways. And when they make combos and stuff, there were like Tetris Effect did. I'll say Tetris Effect definitely made me cry. There was moments playing Tetris Effect where I was like emotional playing Tetris. So if they pull that off again with Luminous, I'm hyped. But yeah, what a strange opener. I mean, have you played much Luminous in your time?
I think I played on PS3. I think there's a copy of it on the PS3 that I paid a little bit of. But I know of it, and I've seen a lot of it, and I
Yeah,
know. I mean, how long has it been? 15 years, at
I
least.
I'm so excited. A demo is coming soon as well. Yeah, no, just and then yeah, I love already the vibes they come out and they say like, forget your worries, forget yourself, lose yourself to this, and that's truly what, and like this studio Enhance, yeah, that again worked on Tetris Effect. That's what they pulled off in Tetris Effect. They pulled off this puzzle game that you really just lose yourself into, and it is just like this sensory experience. So that was, yeah, totally unexpected. What an opener. um it is the first qualified pop off.
Oh my god! I just realized. Thank you, Fantasy Critic. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it later.
What? I want to know.
Silent Hill stuff.
Oh, okay.
That the release date was in there.
Yeah. I think.
We didn't know it until just today.
Yeah.
And it's only 2 months away, bro. I'm about to flip.
But no, that's Luminous was really cool.
Hell yeah.
And then we got finally an extended look at Pragmata. It's the kind of extended look. Time to bid $20 on Silent Hill on Fantasy Critics says Glory.
I'll put $90 on Silent Hill.
This is one of those extended looks that like I still don't really know what this game is. You know what I mean? It's a third person shooter thing, but like there's like that right there. Whatever that was. There was like this grid after and it said complete. So there's some kind of puzzle game element. Right?
It's like you're like almost hacking it.
Yeah, and it looks square, triangle, circle maybe. So there is like some kind of interesting puzzle mechanic in the combat. So like it feels like what frustrates me about a trailer like this is it focuses on the things that make it generic instead of the things that make it exciting. You know, it's just fully the third person like cutscene stuff, which is fine, but like I want to know more about what's going on here, you know?
The big nerd in me wants to know what's going on with the grid.
Show me the grid.
Forget the guns. Yeah, forget the guns. Show me the grid.
Because everyone does gun. Everyone does strong man, little girl. Show me what makes you unique. I'm not fully bought into this dynamic. Like I'm not bought into the relationship here. I did like the little
guy's over Last of Us already.
No, the vibe is I don't know. It's not fully there, but I will say the moment at the end when he goes, she's like, "Oh, D.I. Bubba," and he's like, "You know what? Let's call you Diana." And she's like, "Whoa, like I have a name." Like that was a good moment. Like the idea of like
moment, yeah.
Giving her a name and her like having that reaction was good. But yeah, I don't know. It's for a game that's been cooking this long, you kind of hope for a little more when it finally does go, I'm here, you know. But I'm intrigued.
Is that what games do?
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here.
It's Pride Month. What can I say?
I was about to say it's Pride Month, you know. They come out, we're fine.
But and especially when you hammer that trailer against this one, which is Romeo's a Dead Man, which is the latest game from Suda51 and Grasshopper. And just already, right? Already. It goes from this, which is a hyper-realistic house, to this in a moment.
Like almost like rotoscoped, but not.
Yeah. It gives me something I would turn on at 3 a.m. on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
and I'd be
Adult
like,
Swim.
I feel like, what the fuck am I watching? It's curry time, and then he goes outside, and it's so casual, and he dies.
You get his life saved. Remember?
Like this part almost gave like a parody of Rick and Morty, where he's like, Grandpa, and he's like, you're gonna die in 15 seconds, but you know, like just a wild game. And then it cuts to he like puts the thing in his eye, and then it's a different art style again.
Yeah, hyper realistic, but like drawn.
And then you see this. Who knows? What this is already showing, though, is that this game is going to have drastically changing art styles and gameplay styles as they show later in the trailer. And then yeah, now it's hyper stylized sci-fi action. And this is when we first
like hyper violent science fiction.
Yeah, this is when we first were like, oh, this is Suda, isn't it? Because this is giving No More Heroes, but like next gen No More Heroes. And then it's later in the trailer where they really start to show Oh, here, it's a little before this. There's like a quick...
Yeah, they like just like flash like a bunch of different stuff.
Let me see if we can frame by frame. The VGG classic frame by frame analysis. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back.
So first of all, we have comic book.
Oh,
We have like 16-bit top down.
this is gameplay. You see that little check mark? That's gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
This is like just like an anime cutscene.
Anime, yeah. Some sort of anime.
Grr. Romeo, you're taking hits. Okay.
Whatever this is.
A cow with some things on it.
Bro, me when the
when the
Zaza
start
hit.
hitting. Okay, so that I think that was the start of it. Okay, so what causes the start of it, or is it just unrelated? Okay, he explodes. It's a giant explosion. He explodes. It says, "Please stand by," and we see the cow. Look at the cow, and then it's anime. I think it's being slower because it's still like a live video versus,
Mm-hmm.
Then the comic manga style. That's me in the upper left. Looking down. Huh? And then this
Code blood decoy system.
initialize ground sword.
Heat. Alternate available.
Okay.
It reminds me of a channel on MGS4's like fake
Yeah.
TV network.
For sure. Oh man, I remember that. You would boot up and it'd be different every time. This looks
Yeah,
like Pong.
Yeah.
I mean, Suda is known for like especially again, most recently did the like top down No More Heroes that changed styles left and right. Can't even begin to tell you what is this. What is this? Maybe it's like
Roulette
a rail
table.
gun. Oh, whoa. It drastically changes in one frame.
Ew.
There's the roulette table again. I mean, needless to say, as you see us literally scrubbing through this frame by frame, this was one of the most exciting things from the show for our particular sensibilities. Okay, now maybe it's done. I think it's done. Oh
no,
there's more. Okay, this can't tell. See, it's like, is this maybe the first actual user interface we're seeing here of the actual game? We see down here, hold L2 or L1 and you got abilities, and then over here it's your D-pad. You got health, gun, sword, and something else. Like almost looks like a satellite, or I don't know. Well, maybe that's actual, like this is the game. This is not one of the side things. Okay, here we go. Like Pac-Man, classic arcade.
Which was like blood, a heart, gun, and pills.
Maybe this is when the little guy is going through your blood. Maybe this is like in the opening.
Oh yeah.
And like you're like gearing yourself up. Maybe every time you die, you have to go through this process to bring him back.
Like a second win thing.
And it like, depending on what you collect is your boosted stats for that life. You're like, oh, you have a lot of health now, but you don't have as much gun or sword. There's a legitimate TV with pixel art programming. Chat, anyone know Japanese?
Yeah, what that mean?
What that mean?
Here, hold on.
I know, so I was doing the same thing. You got it? It may not say anything, to be honest. Or as far like, it may not be able to pick it up because it's so pixelated, and it's got the CRT filter.
Are we going to subspace?
Oh. Okay. Was that the beginning of this batch? Okay, no. I could have told you that says video. Well, we asked.
We did ask.
Wait, Okay, no, that was just a glitch. I was like, did they put in a frame of the state of play? Okay, so what is this? Wait, oh.
Grew up well.
So the zombie was in the ground and he was like pulling on it. Do you like cultivate and then harvest zombies?
These are your lives, bro.
Cool time, power, range. Suda. Suda. Okay, another comic style for panel.
Fighting game
guy?
almost looks like on this one.
This guy's wild looking. Just pure muscles. Ooh. Okay, another yeah, another like pixel art style. Hard to tell how much of this is actually like in-game versus
anime
just
again?
like cutscene type stuff, you know? Yeah, eating glowing chicken. Curry time take 2. Finally gets to eat the curry. There you go. Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm not even gonna let it be perfect. I'm gonna keep it curved like that. If there's a game of the show for me from this one, it is this. Just because a new Suda game that seems to be doing a million different things, trying new things, clearly doing some weird things. Like, this is all what I'm all about. Coming next year, sadly. That's the one downside I would say about this show as a whole. It's a lot of 2026. Like, if this is Sony's one big thing from this year, like as show for this year, and it's the emphasis is that's what you're getting from 2025 is Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding 2 and maybe this God of War thing that leaked, and that's it. You know, we're moving on to 2026. Little sad, but this looks sick. They did have a batch of 2025 shows. Oh, there's Suda. Of 2025 games, which looked pretty good. Silent Hill F, they had a full gameplay sequence, and really this is like its biggest blowout because all the stuff I think we'd seen before this had been like very like, again, vague, you know, hinting at things and not directly saying what this game actually is. And this is, I think, the first time we're really diving into it. As the Silent Hill expert, like, what's your main takeaway from what we saw here?
I mean, the thing that I always hear people complain about, it's like, well, how is this a Silent Hill game if it's not in Silent Hill? People don't understand. If you really played the games, Silent Hill isn't a place.
It's a concept, bro.
Yeah, it's a state of mind. But for everything I've read, I mean, the stories, I can, from what I know, based on who's writing it, it's going to be phenomenal. But like I said, all I've seen in terms of enemies isn't very, very varied. Which is the only thing I'm concerned about. But obviously, like we talked about, it could play into what the story is about. But I mean, it also just there. Oh, actually, we got something.
Some more creepy stuff.
Yeah.
I know that
also plays into like maybe dying over and over again like this.
Yeah.
When we watch her die and she like wakes up.
A few different times in here, I think. Yeah, see, it's so interesting. They keep emphasizing standalone spin-off and other stuff. So I'm like, what do you... Again, I know there are connections between the other games, but I feel like each Silent Hill game always felt a little bit
like
more...
its own thing.
Yeah, and so like it's so weird that they're emphasizing that so much. Yeah, and exactly, yeah, when you're talking about people saying like this isn't Silent Hill, like it has the Silent Hill DNA, and that is clear from what they've shown. Especially
what's annoying to me... Go ahead.
No, finish. Go ahead.
Like, what's annoying to me is the same treatment that I'm seeing of Silent Hill 2, and look at how that did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing I'm thinking when I'm seeing this, the gameplay here too, is like it does also seem to have that this isn't a fighter, this isn't, you know, and so like it captures that element of Silent Hill that is unique to it versus Resident Evil, of like clunky combat, purposefully clunky combat, you know, like you're not meant
you're
to
a
be.
schoolgirl. You're
Yeah.
not a soldier. Like this is survival horror, not
well, it's
action horror.
so here's what they've written about it on the PlayStation blog, which is what really interesting compared to what we just said and what we've seen in here. The combat will have a heavier focus on melee, which makes sense, and that's good.
It's Japan.
But it says and be more action oriented compared to last year's
Interesting.
Silent Hill 2. So that's interesting.
I mean, I feel like last year's Silent Hill 2 was pretty action.
Yeah. They're not giving this girl a gun. One of the emphasis, so it looks like the mission statement for this game, according to PlayStation blog, was to find the beauty in terror. And so maybe that's where the emphasis on potentially femininity comes from. And I remember that one Silent Hill like mini game they put out was about a girl being bullied. Wasn't it? I forget. I don't think I don't know if you ever played it.
Memories?
No, that one that was like literally like,
shit, the what is it called?
it was like you had a cell phone.
Missing phone, yeah. It was like something.
Yeah.
It was called. It was on the PS5 like last year. The free one.
Yeah. So this apparently takes place in the 60s potentially, because it says on here you'll be able to explore an authentic depiction of 1960s Japan. In 4K, they made sure to emphasize.
If you put on quality mode.
An emphasis on traditional Japanese horror blended with the traditional Silent Hill monster design,
which is great.
Yamaoka is back for the score.
Can't wait to hear that droning.
Okay, yeah. So the Japanese, so there's a lot of those like people staked on wooden sticks, and you have to like kind of sneak past them. That's a huge part of Japanese horror culture. The scarecrows. Yeah, I mean, I this if this does well, and it definitely can, I think Silent Hill is officially back, which is great.
We're so back.
We need to see them come back. I still don't like Konami for Konami reasons, but they do at least seem to be investing in Silent Hill. They're giving it to the most. They're making interesting decisions, as Boy Vandals in chat says the Higurashi when they cry creator being the writer for this game, and that's such a fascinating decision for the Silent Hill franchise. And all these other decisions, they're making the right choices. They're not just wasting what this franchise is. And Silent Hill, I think the Silent Hill 2 remake was like a wake-up call, and I'd be really fascinated to see if Bluebird continues with any of the other older games. Like people have said, like maybe Silent Hill 1, because that's another game that could, imagine that with a full polish, after how,
I've already told like Devin. Devin's like, oh, don't we go back and play Silent Hill 1? Because I was like, oh, maybe we should like Silent Hill 3 and 4 and like to like catch up on a bunch of like the story bits. And I was like, I'm not replaying Silent Hill 1. Like that game did not age well. It's a great game.
I still can't get over that the final boss fight, the way speedrunners do it, is like you could beat it in like a second because of a glitch in there, which is always so funny to me.
I can't believe I streamed that game start to finish.
Old school.
I was back in the early days of streaming.
But yeah, Silent Hill F, definitely intriguing, definitely excited. Next, not much to say here. Yeah, not sure.
Looks co-op almost.
I think it is. And so that is cool, but just this is a wait and see for me. This isn't a like deep dive But I'm excited to see Bloodstained as a franchise continue because I did really like playing Bloodstained. I don't even I keep wanting to add Castlevania titles onto it. I was about to say Ritual of the Night was the name. I was like, that's a.
I played the Blood Moon one. What's it called?
Yeah, and that was like, wasn't that like a 2D one or something, like a pixel art, or was there's like
Curse of the Moon?
There's like several Bloodstained games now, which is it is wild to think about. But cool to see them continuing that franchise. Cool to see if Konami's not going to do it, someone's gotta, you know. Symphony of the Shite, says S Videotech in my chat. That's again S Videotech says Symphony of the Shite. All right, we're gonna let that one just sit there.
Let's let that marinate for a little bit.
Digimon again, looking really cool. It seems like there's a new era of like RPGs that are learning the right lessons from Persona, really, in making cool classic turn-based RPGs. Really stylized, has this wild story of like Digimon taking over Japan, which is cool. Not much else to say there.
Digital terrorists, Digimon are taking over.
This is cool. Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah,
that's
the original PS1 game, getting a full modern polish, both visually and in gameplay. Full voice acted cutscenes and dialogue. And then the ability to switch over to the classic PS1 version at any time. Again, we know the game, so it's not like we have to like deep dive decipher like what they've done different. I do like the modern interpretation. I think the tactics genre has, had some really nice quality of life stuff since that game came out on the PS1. So it's cool to see that emphasized. This next little section they did, it was all games coming out in 2025. Baby Steps was in here.
Your game's out this year, bro.
That's not me, dude. I know how to walk and shit.
You can do them both at the same time? That's crazy.
I am excited to see a Bennett Foddy game with like a proper storyline though. And like, yeah, the idea of like doing a Bennett Foddy like complicated. It's not the Nate game. I'm not bragging. I know his name is Nate, but it's not me. But like the idea of having those awkward controls for like a giant landscape that you're navigating is really cool. And the same thing. No, you're not excited to see me in a game because it's not me. I'm excited for, a big thing with the Foddy in games is learning, specific moves and getting better and figuring out how to navigate these spaces. And the idea of doing that within the, a big open environment is really cool. It's gonna be a wild one. So previous Foddian games equals the Dark Souls games, and this equals Elden Ring. The idea of like adding in that open world where you can really like get used to things, and like it's gonna be the most like accessible Foddian game is my argument. And no, I was not the mocap actor.
Why don't you take a lap for me on cam? See?
I need to take a sip. I need to calm down. Honestly, I wish I'd be making some money.
Well, they just used your likeness. They just paid you $5 for your
I would take it, but that's not me. My ass. I mean, honestly, I wish my ass was that thick. I mean, look at that guy. It's pretty thick.
All right, get us out of here.
The
Hirogami.
Yeah, this looks really cool. The action adventure origami game. Being like supported by Bandai Namco, but are they actually actively developing it, or is there another studio? Yeah,
They just
Kakehashi Games.
Maybe they just copied Mario and the Origami King.
I mean, it has a beautiful style, and I love the idea of the shifting forms. Hype for that one. Got an email about that one, so that's exciting.
Let's get to the real games.
The real games, yeah, like Hot Shots Golf. No, yeah, this
talking about Hot Shots Golf, baby.
I hope it still has. It probably won't. I remember the last one on PS5 or PS4 had like kind of like this like big open resort that you could like just walk around as your character, which was really cool. But I'm just excited that that's still alive. No one's doing like arcadey golf games anymore. It's either just pure simulation or mini golf,
or
yeah,
or like too silly.
Yeah. So I'm excited in that. Vidi, I'm not. I cannot. I will not. Another look at Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which we keep going Strider. Oh wait, but
for 2 years now we've been going Strider. Oh
wait, not Strider. I believe this is coming from that team. Not .emu. WayForward, is it WayForward? I think WayForward's doing this.
The Game Kitchen's doing.
Ninja Gaiden Ragebound arrives July 31st.
You're right. It does say it's published by .emu. No. I don't know.
Yeah, it's published by .emu and Joystick.
I'm excited for that, but again, we've seen it before. Karen coming November, which is really exciting. If you have not played the demo, I cannot recommend it enough. It is on PC.
Well, we saw it before.
But it's coming to PS5. But it's coming out November 5th. That was new, and that is exciting.
Yeah, that's dope.
And then we had the Mortal Kombat collection from Digital Eclipse. Once again, I cannot recommend checking out their games enough, because they not only give you all the games as they were meant to be, you know, like fully perfectly emulated, but then also they add in like documentary stuff with interviews and like documentation that came out around that time, and you know, it's looking like we're gonna be able to see a lot of that behind the scenes stuff that went into making those, you know, actual footage, you know, of people doing all the moves and stuff, which was really cool for the time. Yeah, really cool studio, Digital Eclipse. Preservation, like, artists, truly. Fighting Stick from PlayStation was their big hardware announcement. Metal Gear, which again, the reason you definitely don't deep dive this, I cannot emphasize enough. From all I've seen, it is truly just MGS3. Like, the game itself is just there. It just looks really pretty. And they did re-record the voice acting, which is kind of weird, considering everyone's aged so much. You know?
I mean, even the songs, even the MGS song.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds great though.
But I mean, look at this. That's enough.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's enough. That's video games.
Neo 3,
which
from Half Court.
Yeah, I know. Called in there and was shocked by, but it seems like the big change here is the 2 gameplay style. That's video games all the way down. Yeah. The big change here is the 2. You could shift between the ninja and samurai fighting styles. I haven't played much Neo. I think maybe you have played like the first one.
Yeah. They're good. It's a good alternative if you don't want to play like a Dark Souls, you know.
A little more action oriented, right? A little more like.
Here is my answer. If you were to describe it to any of the from soft game, it would be like more Bloodborne, like more head on, apply directly to the forehead, you know.
So that's cool. Cool to see that series. I mean, I know there's, you know, it's so fun how everyone has different reactions to everything, right? Where our pop off was Romeo is a dead man, and you know, Neo 3 is like, oh cool, but someone out there is like, oh shit, new Neo, you know, like, whoa, I thought it was dead.
No, you know what their reaction? Where's the white guy?
Where'd my white guy go?
Mm-hmm.
So Neo 3 coming. What's this one? Oh yeah, Thief VR again, just out of left field.
My half court shot. I thought I was dead.
Good to see PSV. I mean, this probably comes with PC VR as well, maybe, but cool to see PlayStation not abandoning PSVR as a platform, actually putting out something really cool surrounding VR.
It's also good to see Thief still alive.
Yeah. Even I know someone's gonna be like, oh, it's just VR. So hey, it's still live. That means if there's enough interest in that, maybe it comes back in another
We
way.
get a full game.
This is probably
Rise of
my
Tomorrow.
next, like, yeah, big deep dive, just because I love. Road 96 was a really cute game, a really cool game. But this feels like the next level for this studio, where they're doing this really interesting thing where, the world is changing around you based on the choices and consequences of other people's actions, which is really cool. And you kind of choose who you're gonna follow down these paths, and yeah, you have to deal with whatever they did and left there. And I think you are making your way across like this ocean. It's a really cool. It's hard. I feel like it must be hard to show in a trailer, right? Like they have to do it this way, like where the game is not going to be you seeing a lot of this. It's just going to be you playing and living through these experiences of whatever someone else did. I'm super interested in a choice driven game that, again, so dynamic as far as what's happening in the world is because of other people, right? And the key is going to be in how much how far those choices go, how much those like, is it just going to be they made this choice or this choice? Okay, next stage they made this choice or this, like, can it be layered? Can it be you would hope so. But the systems seem really interesting, and so I'm curious to see where that goes. Yeah, I this is the kind of game that replayability is interesting, because you want to play it one time, probably early on, where you're like seeing the early birds get in there. Maybe you're one of the first and you're not dealing with consequences because you're one of the first ones on that line. But then come in a year later and you're seeing like the consequences layered from 15 different people, and the repercussions of all that, echoing out throughout your gameplay. I'm definitely intrigued. It's similar to Road 96. It's going to be like, okay, can you pull this off? Because there's a lot of moving parts there that need to be, nailed to make it what it should be.
I hope, like we're just saying that, the gameplay probably won't look like exactly that, like in those shadows of people. I just hope that at some point you can like see stats like you got this option because so and so did this and branched off into this.
Yeah.
And you were only allowed this, whatever, just so you can see like, how did I get to where I am?
Yeah. I want to see it have that many ripples, but it's just gonna be like, how do you do that? How do you still make a satisfying narrative, So it's gonna be interesting, and it's coming February of next year, early in 2026. It is wild that we are halfway through the year, so it's like already, yeah, we should start talking about 2026 games. Time moves too fast. Astrobot's getting some
update.
Yeah, new levels and new bots. They said it's up to 90 full levels now. Controller's back.
Controller's coming back. Shazame, we gotta grab one of these.
It's so cute. He said it's gonna be slightly different. I wonder if they found a way to make the pad animate, like if the eyes can like and like bounce around and shit. That'd be cool.
That's a $150 controller right there. This is like top 3 for me of things that we saw today.
So this is Sea of Remnants.
Devin, perk up.
It is okay. So here's what they're calling it: Ocean Adventure RPG Simulation Survival Building Turn-Based Strategy. So that's interesting. You don't really see the turn-based element in here, but kind of. I was gonna say some of the damage counters when you're doing some of these fights did kind of look like, RPG damage. Maybe that's. Oh, interesting. Maybe that's like damage like rolls.
Yeah. Maybe it was like those like crits that you can like roll.
So maybe that's like his DC, and you have to beat that. Okay, here's what it says online for the story. In Sea of Remnants, you play as an amnesiac sailor who sets off on a voyage alongside a mysterious girl, two travelers with different goals, yet bound to the same path across the sea. The purpose of this journey is to reach the long-rumored, deeply cursed Sea of Remnants, a place said to hold endless riches and renown. But those who fall into its waves lose the very talents they once held most dear. Memories from long lost sailors.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. That felt very RPG.
turn-based. Yeah. You had a party of 4, and then that boss did an AOE attack.
Yeah, that felt very RPG. So it is. It's one of those ones that's probably going to look a lot different when you're actually getting your hands on with it.
Like the art's cool.
Yeah, there's like these puppet people, and they are puppets. They are called puppet folk. Yeah, I'm definitely eagerly watching this one. It looks like it's coming from
Hey, who's making it?
Joker Studio, which are owned by NetEase Games.
Ooh.
So let me see if Joker Studio has made anything else.
NetEase has some bangers though.
Yeah. Joker Studio. Okay, they're kind of small. Let's see. Identity V. Does that sound familiar to anyone? It looks like that's their last big project. Let's see. Identity V game.
It looks like another puppet game.
They love puppets.
You guys love puppets.
Lots of
It's
strategy.
survival horror.
Oh. 1v4 gameplay.
Yeah.
Mobile. That's what I was like, this looks cool, but it could be, I don't know, like there's something. And now it's hearing some of these other elements, a little worrying, but looks really cool. Can't judge it till it's in our hands. And that's coming in 2026, but it's one to keep an eye out for because the style looks great. And okay. Here's something cool. So that pirate city, that place they wash up, that's a big pirate city, and that's kind of like the hub that you return to regularly. You can upgrade your ship, design outfits, you can rope in NPCs to co-run a shop, so that's kind of cool. See, now it's sounding MMO. Now it's sounding Zenless Zone Zero, where there's RPG systems, but there's like multiplayer stuff too. But then they say you can enjoy side activities like fishing, cooking, or mahjong. Cool.
Mahjong.
Mahjong. So cool. A little, are they hiding what it truly is? Like, we'll see. This is the sword of the sea. From Giant Squid, who's done The Pathless and Abzu, 2 games that are beautiful stylistically. Has like one really cool core gameplay system, but then kind of like, it doesn't hit in other ways. So like this will be an interesting one to see if they put it all together. And it seems like it's way more involved than those other 2 games. Clearly looping around the core system of sword boarding, as we were saying. And it looks beautiful. I remember when we first saw this, we thought it was Journey 2 because the sand stuff just looks purely Journey-like. I wanted to talk about it a little bit because, yeah, I'm definitely interested. And that will be coming to PS Plus, I think Extra and whatever. The 2 tiers that are not just the base level.
Yeah, day 1, right?
Yeah, day 1. Then they kind of went into a segment about some of those games like Firebreak coming also to PS Plus. They talked about
Twisted Metal.
Yeah, and the new PlayStation Classics, Twisted Metal, Miss Riven, and what was the other one? It was before this. Deus Ex.
Yeah, Deus Ex.
Deus Ex. Again, I do. Oh yeah, and Resident Evil. I do like those classics because they add in like trophies and they have all these like save states and all that cool stuff. Like a lot of the main people are doing with their, you know, older games nowadays.
And it gets people interested.
Yeah,
You know, who's to say that now people are gonna be like, "Ooh, Deus Ex is fun. When do we get a new Deus Ex?"
exactly. Or I played Resident Evil 3 Remake. I wonder what the original was like. Oh, it's on PS Plus. Cool. But yeah, finally properly seeing James Bond.
First Light.
First Light from IO Studios again, Hitman's team. Seems to be I just never know. I'm already seeing complaints that he's like, oh, he's cocky and aloof, and I'm like, is that not what people
He's
like
always
about?
been like that.
But I think they're like, he's not suave, he's just kind of like, you know, a bro or something. I don't know. I think it looked cool. I think he looked like James Bond to me.
Yeah, to me it's fitting. You know?
Yeah. And so I am interested to see how, as we see, it does feel a little more actiony than what I'm expecting from like the Hitman studio. But you do see elements of classic Hitman stuff here, you know, knocking people out, using your gadgets. But then there are some bigger, or like, it does seem like there's a bigger emphasis on being able to like really handle these guys when things just kicking them off.
No, he just fucking throws the gun at his head, dude. Watch. It gets me.
Oh,
Boom.
fuck. Underhand too.
Yeah, he's like, God.
She's not she's an asset.
But no, yeah, I mean, talk about studios with pedigree that you kind of trust implicitly. IO with the Hitman series has definitely earned that, and I'm super excited to see what they do with this game. And knowing, especially like with Hitman, they kept it alive for so long with these like dynamic events in each mission, and you go back and you like have 5 different objectives and you only have to do one of them, you know, so like lots of replayability. So curious to see if they do some of that stuff. Keep it alive with DLC, maybe, you know, like it'd be fun to have like a series of missions that are, you have to go kill old James Bonds or something, you know, like, and then they bring in those actors, or yeah, old villains.
I suppose this is another.
I mean, exactly what I wanted to see of it. It's coming in 2026. Yeah, shout out IO for having one of the bigger announcements of this showcase, as far as like, you know, big games that people have been waiting to see something of. What was it? Was it at the Game Awards? It was at something recently where it was like 007. Anyways, that's it. You know, like
yeah, maybe it wasn't the Game Awards.
There was something where it just like revealed itself and had no information to show.
It was just the 007.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, new movie?
And then it was like, no, it's the game that you have been waiting for. Oh, more? No, that's it. Ghost of Yote got another breakdown. Like you said, we're just ready for it.
This was just an announcement for it's having its own thing.
Right, yeah. Bigger gameplay breakdown coming July. But excited. It is their big release of this year, especially now with the rumors that Marathon is getting moved out of this year.
Ooh.
PlayStation needs some big winners.
I signed an NDA.
Does anyone forget that Bungie is owned by PlayStation sometimes? I do.
Forgot.
That's what Phyllis.
That's probably why Marathon didn't perform. It's because they were too focused on Ghost of Yote.
That's what Phyllis's teeth look like.
That's what Cappy's 3 teeth look.
But she doesn't know how to use them. And then they closed out the show with just like, oh, okay, announcement of a Marvel fighting game from Arc System Works with a 4v4 setup where you have a captain and then you have 3 support characters. This
right,
20 minutes. Yeah, a little weird that they had like a full like documentary at the end of it. Talk about a way to like slow the presentation to a halt at the end of it all, you know? But I mean, I am deeply interested in a Arc System
That's
work.
why they announced the fighting stick.
They were like, get ready, you're gonna want this.
Yeah.
But no, I'm so excited. Arc System Works are the masters of fighting games at this point. Not only just of like the core gameplay, but like I think they nail the like cinematic quality of the intro and outro and the like living stage, and I'm super excited to see what this looks like when it's fully together. I hope it has. I know a lot of modern fighting games. I don't know. I'm too dumb and I don't know if like Arc Systems Works also does this, but I know a lot of modern fighting games have like really robust like training and like teaching you how to play, which is the thing that's always intimidating about games like this. I didn't even realize the latest Street Fighter has what they call a it has Ghost Rider and Doom has a gun. I'm in. But I just realized and learned that Street Fighter has what they call modern controls, which literally means like you push triangle and you Hadouken. You don't have to quarter circle. You just push triangle and you Hadouken. So it's like, it's more about
the babies now. And
but it's still, you still have to like learn spacing and your timing and, you know, when you execute those things. So it still does, like, you can still get bodied even if you can push triangle to Hadouken. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it is a cool way to like, you learn the timing and all that, and then you mix in, thanks for the legendary pause on my first wife. I'm just doing it for you, really. Shazam, there you go.
and, I mean, I said that the first time. I was like, damn, Storm's looking good.
But yeah, I'm hyped, and it's been a minute since there's been like not a crossover fighting game for Marvel. So cool to see them just like fully embrace. There's more than enough roster, you know, like, and it's cool to see people like Miss Marvel in there, some newer representation. You know, we've seen a lot of these other guys already a million times, so it's cool to see some of the newer faces in Marvel get a spotlight in a fighting game. And then that was it. They had 8 characters only for the whole 4v4 game.
No
so
DLC.
Those 2 teams, that's all you can expect. Then yeah, they had a really long.
But you can mix them. That's like at least like 60 something combinations.
Truly, it's gonna work.
Extremely daunting, but the team at Arc System Works has found a way to.
Yeah, wild long outro they had. You can have 4 Miss Marvels, 4 Storms, Shazame.
Hey yo.
Hey yo, Nelson and Murdoch back there. That's Daredevil. He got to be in the game then. Come on, bro. Daredevil. I don't think he's been in a fighting game, so that's cool. And that
he's in a Marvel vs. Capcom, isn't he?
I don't think so. Let me look. Now that we switch back to the main screen. Main screen. 10 Marvel games.
10 Marvel games playable Daredevil. There you go.
Oh yeah,
you're about to stream
you're still
10 Marvel games.
You're still on here. Side scroller, RPG. I was like, how did you see that? The Mobile Fighter, Lego, Ultimate Alliance.
Ultimate Alliance.
Not in a fighting game.
Wow. Marvel Future Fight. It's got fight in the name.
That's a mobile game, dude. Don't count. Yeah. Okay, this was a fighting game. I remember this one. This was like the dark Marvel game where it's like, oh, watch them punch each other. Isn't that wild?
Because Daredevil's second class. Super.
Whoa, dude. You take that back, dude. Yeah.
He hasn't been in a fighting game for 20 years right there. 2005.
He is going to make his debut and you will all be sorry for your words and deeds.